Let's bring in Roger Ferguson, former vice chairman of the Federal Reserve, former CEO, a lot of alphabet soup here, former CEO of TIAA and a CNBC contributor. Wow. We covered the whole gamut there, Roger. It's good to have you on, as it always is. Welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here.
We've got both Chair Powell and Secretary Yellen need to be very careful about what they say. And sometimes I guess ambiguity is good. And you've seen how we talk about Taiwan. I love that one, strategic ambiguity. I don't know what the heck we do at this point. Nobody does. Now I got the same feeling about deposits. If there's a case where we need to cover deposits, you should know we're going to cover deposits if it's necessary. But we're not saying we're going to cover all deposits. Can you tell me exactly what the future plan is on that?
I'm not sure anyone can tell you exactly what the future plan is. I think what you're hearing is policymakers who are balancing two things. One is the reality of anxiety among some banks, as Jay Powell said, serious problems among a small number of banks. And at the same time, a legal regime that basically says, no, we're not going to insure all deposits. And so they're trying to walk a fine line to create a sense of reassurance without crossing the line into upsetting Congress and changing the general expectations. I think it's going to be very, very tricky. What I would look at is, frankly, their actions more than their words. And I think their actions are such that they are really working hard to stem any kind of systemic challenges in the banking system. And I presume they'll continue to do that using both existing tools, and we've seen them create some new tools as well.
I don't know, Roger. Why no haircut for Silicon Valley Bank shares? What's so special about those depositors? Most of them are way over 250. They're not like Ma and Pa. They're startups and VC firms and very well-heeled investors that probably should have known better, and they probably should have gotten a haircut. So do you think that was a bad precedent? And will a community bank and in the Midwest, will their depositors get the same benefit as these very wealthy movers and shakers out in San Francisco?
Well, look, I'd be careful suggesting everybody who's a customer of Silicon Valley Bank is a fat cat. Many of them are startups. Some of them, very young people put their life savings into these ideas. Some of them, are very successful entrepreneurs as well. But, at the end of the day, and you would understand this, much of the job creation in America comes from these small businesses. The fact that these are startups and tend to be tech in orientation doesn't make them less important to the economy. In fact, they might be, the future of the economy. So, my view is I think they did the right thing. It is very, very difficult to figure out exactly how to do this. And to answer the second part of your question, I think the reason they stepped in so firmly for depositors at SVB is so they don't have to continue to do this in other, community banks. Right. So let's hope that that things are stable for now, and that we don't have to test the resolve of the Fed and the Treasury to create new tools.